So you already saw the title, you already know what we're talking about, and I'm just gonna jump right in it because I don't want this video to be a long video, maybe 10 to 15 minutes at most. So I just want to know, why do you guys hate Cardi B so much? Like, somebody needs to give me a legitimate reason to why you guys hate Cardi B so much, because if anything, I think she's a human being, you know, trying to figure out life just like the rest of us, and she gets so much flack for it, especially with her relationship, well, her marriage with her dude. So I saw recently where he was on live, Offset was on live, and she was like talking to him from afar. He knew she was coming and he hurried up, put his phone in his pocket. She came into the same room as him, and then when she left, he took back his phone out of his pocket. It's almost like a sigh of relief type of thing. Now, when I saw that, I won't even lie to you guys, I thought that did look suspicious. That really looked suspicious. It was in his whole demeanor. He looked like he was trying to hide something, and I was just like, bro, don't come here and backtrack and try to act like everyone is making something out of nothing, because you really did look suspicious, you know. And then, you know, in good old social media fashion, people start ragging Cardi B. And I thought about it. I was like, I think this girl is either 26 or 27 now, right? And they've been married, I think this year will be 3 years of marriage, I think. And they have a child. Now, to be 100% honest with you, granted, I do think that they got married too young, and that's just my personal opinion. They got married too young. He was not ready, obviously, because I think he's the same age as her, if not maybe a year older, but they're in similar age group. And you couple young, successful multi-millionaires together, and it's gonna be some shit. Like, he's in the industry. He has women throwing themselves at him day and night, day and night. He's still young. He still hasn't matured to that point. And you expect him to be this good old perfect Christian faithful husband, like, in Hollywood. That's not realistic. That is not realistic at all. And I feel like people pass so much judgment on her as if we weren't all a Cardi B at one point in time in our lives, you know. I don't understand it. I don't see the need for it. Granted, she has done some problematic things in the past, you know. I've seen it, but at the same time, I don't know, like, I'm very highly intuitive, and I have a way of feeling people's energy. And I feel like deep down, she's a good person. You know, she's a good person. She's just misunderstood a lot. And sometimes she doesn't go about things the right way because she's very reactive. You know, she doesn't know, she has not mastered the task of practicing emotional intelligence. So because of that, when she gets upset, she lashes out automatically, and then I'm pretty sure after she calms down, she's like, yo, I shouldn't have done that. But because her pride, you know, she's very prideful, she's a Libra, and her ego won't have her come back and backtrack or even apologize for it, you feel me? But despite all of that, I can see that she's a good person at heart. I can see that. I can feel that with her. So I don't understand why people pass so much judgment on her when we all can name somebody, including ourselves, that have been down that same road with a guy, you know? And a lot of times people are so quick to say, well, you know what? He made vows, whatever. She's acting like Offset isn't a like all he does is cheat on her. But again, couple millions of dollars, fame, success, and Hollywood, and I don't know, like that's a really hard recipe to be faithful. And I'm just being real about it. Like, now, you know, I'm engaged or whatever, and even for me, I always said that I never wanted to be married early. Like, that was never my desire. And I always told myself I never wanted a husband early either. I don't want him young. I want him to have experienced some things, live some life, do his dirt, and then by the time he meets me, he got that out of his system. He's mature, he's been there, done that, and he's just ready to settle, you know? But I feel like they jumped the gun. They got married relatively quickly, got pregnant relatively quickly, and at that point in time, they were still fresh in a relationship, like still learning each other. And I'm sure maybe if Cardi B could have gone back in time, she probably would have, you know, waited to get married. I know, guys, I'm just jumping from one side of my face to the other side. That's how I do my makeup. Yeah, she probably would have waited, you know. And who knows, if she waited, she probably realized that this is not the man that I want to be with. But now you couple a baby, you couple a marriage, and it's kind of hard to walk away from that, especially when the marriage, the relationship, the child, it's still young, you know, it's still fresh. You're still trying to figure things out. She is young, he's young. They both made mistakes. They both are still learning each other, growing, trying to figure it out. So I feel like it's rather unfair to like be so harsh on her, you know. I can't judge her because I've been through the dumb phase before over a dude. I've been there, done that, you know. I have stories, and I know people more than 10 of my fingers worth that have been through similar, if not worse, situations too, you know. As long as he's not abusive, give them time to figure it out, you know. Now, if she really figures herself out and she realizes maybe 5 years down the line, after she has grown mature, like, okay, he's not the man for me, he still hasn't grown, he still hasn't matured, then okay, go ahead, divorce him, you know, move on, because at this point in time, you knew you tried everything. And I know people are so quick to also say that, oh, you know, when our grandparents were married back in the day, they stayed, they made it work. That's true, that is true, but you also have to realize back in the day, women were heavily dependent on their men, on their husbands, you know. Their jobs were to stay at home, tend to the household, and your husband was the breadwinner. So if he's doing his thing, making outside babies, beating your ass, for the most part, you'd have to sit there and take it. You'd have to sit there and take it, because who's trying to leave their home without an income with 3, 4, 5 kids? Because back in the day, y'all know our grandparents used to have hella kids. Excuse me. You know, back in the day, our grandparents used to have hella kids. And imagine having 4, 5, 6 mouths to feed on no income. So I understand, you know, the basis for them staying and trying to make it work. And a lot of people, you know, they just like that family dynamic, that family dynamic. You know, they don't want to see their kids growing up in a broken home. But even with that, I've seen kids that grew up in a two-parent household, and it was so toxic. You know, the only stories they have is seeing mommy hit, daddy hit mommy, daddy beat up mommy, daddy cursed out mommy, type of thing. And then I'll go back to saying to people like, okay, now if there's a child is in this environment, are you still going to recommend that the parents work it out? Like, would you want your child, especially your girl child, to see that like as an example? And most people don't think that far out, or they're quick to judge others, they're quick to point the finger, but they're not so quick to rationalize and be empathetic and take themselves out of themselves and imagine if they were in your situation. But they're quick to jump around and judge and point the finger. Like, I've never understood that for the life of me. I always tell people, you know, everybody has their life to live, and ultimately do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be 60 looking back full of regrets, being mad at yourself because, you know, you didn't make the choice that was best for you. You're too caught up with what people were gonna say, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to find out, like, what's up with y'all and this girl? Like, it's like whatever she does is never good enough for people, you know. If she does anything wrong, it's heightened by 10. If she does anything good, it's always something behind it. Like, there's always an ulterior motive. Like, sometimes I genuinely feel bad for her. I was like, girl, I don't want your life. I don't want your life for love nor money. Trust me. Because now I see why people commit suicide left and right. Because it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. Especially in that lifestyle, you have to find a way to keep grounded, you know. To keep you stable, you have to have good people around you that they're able to refocus you when times get tough, you know, remind you where you come from, who you are. Because that fame stuff, it can turn you into a monster, I believe. That's why I like Beyonce so much. She's so low-key. And even with her too, I don't like how people put Beyonce on such a pedestal to the point where you would think that she doesn't make mistakes. She's perfect. And I think that Beyonce be messing up too, you know, but she's so quiet and discreet to the point where she doesn't really showcase that. I feel like she's not as vulnerable to the world, and even when she is vulnerable, it's very controlled, because she's controlling how much vulnerability she's putting out, and she's allowing the world to see. So even with that, you know, it's still controlled. It's still controlled. So you don't really see Beyonce at, we see her at her best most time, but we never see her at her worst. And who knows, she might share even a lot of the same sentiments as Cardi B. Who knows, she might even have some of the similar traits as Cardi B. But she's more intact, she's more filtered, you know. So she knows how to play the game. So she doesn't get ranked as much because she knows how to be pretty much politically incorrect. I mean, politically correct. That's the word. Anyways, guys, I need to hurry up. I just wanted to make a quick little video talking about Cardi B. Like, why y'all hate her so much? I'm not gonna stay on this whole video to finish my makeup. I'm already past 15 minutes. I don't want to go over it. But yeah, I hope y'all guys are staying safe, staying home. I don't mind y'all doing a million TikTok videos and lives or whatever, as long as you're staying safe. Not going out unless it's necessary, and you're taking the extra precautions. Talk to you later. Bye.